I just want the player cards to be in the same set. It sucks having to wait in the Hemlock to finish the Curse Bless archetype. Yeah. I get it. That's how I am with Drowned City. It's like I want to use the Drowned City investigators for the Drowned City. So like I haven't played it yet because like I kind of want them, and you know, allegedly it'll still be in print. Allegedly. So like I don't mind using cards from different sets, but at least for that it'd be nice to like use the same thing. So I don't know. And like the whole thing on Reddit where they were just like, oh, if they're missing card archetypes, like help the community out to find other card archetypes that fit in there, or like card staples, I should say. And it's like, bro, everything is gone. There is no staples left. Tell much is close to an action game because it's 3 nerds attacking a guy doing a ritual. But yeah, I think that's my biggest frustration with Arkham right now. For new people, for me, it doesn't matter. Well, except for Drowned City. But for new people, it's just like, again, they're like, help each other find, you know, cards that are like the staple cards and whatnot. And again, nothing is around. Does a new Marvel Champions core box reprint Maria Hill? At some point eventually, but not anytime soon. We don't reprint anything signed everybody. Do you mean Leadership Maria Hill? I don't know. I don't think you get Ironheart Basic again though. Because Ironheart Basic was such a staple that they probably went, no. Like I think like Nick Fury, I think is gonna be reworked. Probably Avengers Mansion too. Which is crazy. Because like again, like I think everyone's gonna go back to, it's gonna be so weird with Legacy and current environment, I think. Skelly, welcome chat. I pretty much never run Ironheart anymore. I do now and again, but not like I used to. Like when it was such a smaller card pool, it was all the time. But it's gonna be weird because like Nick still gets some play, but not in most decks. See, he still makes it in most of my decks if I'm trying to like really win against a hard scenario, just because it's just such good value. But I get, like, I get it, but it's one of those things where I know a lot of people are looking at running like Legacy and current environment separately. And I wonder how much people are going to really stick with that, to be honest, because obviously if you're a new player, right? That doesn't really matter. So that's fine. But I think for us older folks, like let's say a new core comes out and current environment starts with that, hypothetically, just like it is for Arkham, right? Hypotheticals, obviously. And you don't have Nick Fury. You don't have something like Avengers Mansion. You don't have something like, or Helicarrier or something like that. Like, I wonder how quickly people go, I'm going to use that and not pay attention to the current environment. And then I wonder if like as another cycle or two comes out where like there's just more cards, right? Because you will most likely get kind of bored, I guess, of just playing the same stuff. Like when you first get the core box of Marvel, it's great, but once you start getting the deck building, whatever, you get kind of like in the same habit of like doing the same exact thing. So I think it's gonna be interesting and maybe a little weird because just like I'm gonna be so bored of the current environment right away that I'm just gonna go right back to Legacy. And if I do that, am I gonna fall into the same deck patterns? Am I going to not do current moving forward? Like, I don't know. There just seems like such weird things with that. It's like setting everyone up again to relive the experience of when like the game first came out. Maybe that's good. And maybe some people like it. Nick Fury about to be a sad old man. Yeah. Chaos Magic Avengers Mansion or Captain Marvel into play is always fun. Yeah. Again, I wonder, like, again, Avengers Mansion, will it be there, you know? I'm going to try to, but man, having a nice sledgehammer with Arkham is nice. And I'm planning to do that with Arkham at first, at least keep current Legacy separate. Not sure for Marvel Champions. Yeah. Yeah, I get it for like people now getting into Arkham, right? Because you don't have much of an option. I know a lot of people made the argument, well, no, like the current environment goes 2 years back or whatever they said, right? It's a 2-year span. Again, I think it's going to be like Arkham Horror where it starts and then it's 2 years, right? It's not 2 years starts at 2026 and then you can go backward. But even if you could, that runs into the X-Men stuff, which theoretically you really can't do much with anymore. Well, no, I guess it kind of does. Wait. Let's look that up before I assume too much. Would that be, was that 2024? Everything kind of blurs together at this point. So Age of Apocalypse was, yeah, 2024. So technically it goes back to Age of Apocalypse, which you can't use much of the X-Men stuff anymore. So, well, not that you can't, but like you would need that whole cycle. So, okay, Age of Apocalypse, then Shield stuff, I guess, and Civil War stuff, which again, I don't know Civil War yet, maybe one day. So, um, it makes me kind of wonder with that. So anyway, so if you went back 2 years, you still don't have like an amazing card pool. You have some Shield stuff, which could do all right. And then again, Civil War, I just don't know, so I can't really comment on that. I wonder if they make the new current stuff strong than legacy stuff to make you want it. Maybe. And again, if they rebalance everything fine, then it could be good, right? It could be really, really good. I think generally when we looked at Tony waves, the heroes, generally speaking, have been much stronger than the villains, like even in the box. Bad or good or bad doesn't really matter. That's kind of how it's been. So if they do it that way, and you're just like curb stomping villains all the time, maybe it's not bad, again, for a little while before you start pulling into it. Sonic Hog, welcome to chat. I got all Marvel, all revised Lord of the Rings, no Arkham because I don't know where to start, but new core might be where I jump in. There you go. And what's nice too with the Arkham stuff is because they said it's going to be evergreen, and I'm taking their word for it. For the Arkham stuff, it's going to be evergreen, so theoretically, you can wait for the first wave to come out and see what it looks like, and then decide, oh, I want to go back and get that core box. Like, it shouldn't go out of print, which is one nice thing that they kind of have going on with that. Skelly, I'm 100% going to build current decks for Marvel Champions, and I'm going to post some of them for the new players, but I don't know how often I would actually play them versus Legacy with everything. Yeah. I feel like that's smart. X-Men is dead, basically. Avengers Mansion this for 4 or Avengers Pool Party for 3. Data Evergreen means there won't be FOMO, right? There won't be FOMO on the core box. Everything else, though, who knows? Who knows? But yes, that's just how I think they're gonna handle current and legacy. Like again, I don't think it's gonna be, again, assumptions, but I guess at PAX Unplugged we'll see. So in like a couple weeks. Especially like when you reread the Reddit post and it really seems like they're hammering home like, no, something big is happening. And I don't think it's just going to be an expansion box. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I know, again, a lot of people are saying they wouldn't just do Fantastic Four for the core. I think they would. But I get the argument. I don't think it's going to be a mix of characters like other people have thought. Where they're like, oh, it's going to be, a little bit of Avengers and a little bit of X-Men and a little bit of Fantastic Four and a little bit of Defender. I don't think they're going to do that unless it's like, again, an Avengers box, because everyone's like an Avenger kind of nowadays. So unless they do something like that, but I still don't see it. I don't know. There better be a all-in reprint on Kickstarter. Pfft, no shot. Has Tony ever made a weaker hero? Falcon? Was Falcon his? Yeah, Falcon. I would say Falcon was his weakest hero. So if we look back at Tony's stuff really quick. So he didn't really do any of them. Cable Domino, strong. Psylocke, Boggs, and Tony. Boggs is like on everything though. Psylocke's decent. Tony the Angel. X-23 is strong, which is Tony still. Deadpool is Deadpool. Strong. Age of Apocalypse was all basically Caleb. I know Tony helped with it. I don't think Tony really did any of these, right? Oh, Tony did Jubilee. I don't think Jubilee is super strong, but I'm not a good Jubilee player. So, Nightcrawler, Caleb. Magneto, Caleb. Shield, obviously, was him. And Maria Hill and Nick Fury, very strong. Black Panther's him. Black Panther's pretty good. Silk is him. I think Silk is good, but again, you need the Web Warrior card, so it's kind of weird. Falcon, I would consider weak, and Winter Soldier was Caleb. So, and do we know what these are yet? We don't know who the designers for these ones are yet, so maybe he's involved in that. I don't know. So, yeah, he's had weak, but not like super weak. You know what I mean? They announced that they are bringing the Hero Bundle box to North America, if only. I think that's a brilliant strategy for them if they did that, but I don't think they will. I think what is dead may never die. No, that's not the right way to phrase that. What is dead is dead. They're finally going to give people Daredevil? Maybe. I think they made too many people paranoid about things staying in print, like how you can't even get Drowned City right now, and that they're going to buy it right away, so still FOMO. Cable, I agree. The Drowned City thing drives me nuts. It really does. Especially when just going through the Reddit thread, like, Olivia, I have mad respect for what she's doing. Absolutely. But like, it was very telling to me that like people are like, we can't find Drowned City. Like, is it going to be reprinted? And like, she had no real idea about that. And again, she's the comm person, so she's not really in charge of that. But you have no idea that something that just printed is out of print and like no one can get it anywhere. And like, there's tons of posts about it. They made 4 waves of them. Of who? Ghost Spider is his, right? No, Ghost Spider is way before him. He wasn't around for Ghost Spider. Let me just double check the box. Yeah, the Sinister Motives was all Michael Boggs. I don't consider Falcon weak, but yeah, a lot of people don't like it. Falcon's just weird. And again, maybe I just haven't played enough Falcon, but every time I play him, I feel like I'm just like doing the birds and that's it. And I think Falcon would work a lot better for multiplayer, and I think that's his multiplayer hero. So I'm judging it unfairly, because I'm judging as a solo player, and I don't think he's great for solo. But I think for multiplayer, it makes a lot more sense. Jubilee is probably somewhere in the middle, not OP. Why is War Machine selling for so much? Does War Machine have any like crazy cards? War Machine was one of the first ones to like really go out of print. People really liked War Machine. I don't know why. The Black Panther card was good. The Captain Marvel card is good. Command Team is good, but you can get in other things. Goliath is pretty good. Falcon, you can get a lot of. Save the Day, go down swinging, whatever. Make the call, whatever. Mockingbird you can get. Quinn Carrier you can get. 2 Against the World's fine. I don't know why it is. I think people just like War Machine a lot. And again, I think War Machine in multiplayer is better, but I'll check my LGS for Arkham stuff tomorrow. Yeah, dude, if you could, that'd be great. Because if you can find Drowned City, I am super interested. I mostly played Falcon 2 player, and he kind of cracked in multiplayer. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm judging Falcon unfairly in that sense, as just like a primarily solo player. I think I could see easily how Falcon makes a lot of sense in multiplayer. War Machine had Captain Marvel is good. Quinn Carrier you can get in so many things though. But yeah, I guess the Captain Marvel, again, Black Panther leadership card I like a lot. Captain Marvel I like. Goliath I like. Command Team I think you can get other places. Mockingbird, Quinn Carrier you can get them other places. So yeah. But again, it was one of the first packs to really go. Oh, Aaron worked on this. One of the first packs that you could really, or one of the first packs that was kind of going out of print. So I don't know if that's a part of it too, that people are trying to like finish up their collections and then coming back to that. Black Panther Ally is so good. Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because I feel like not many people run the Black Panther Ally anymore. Like they did at first and then they kind of slowed down. And not that it's bad that they did, but it just feels weird. Also, Canadian, welcome to chat. Sorry, I totally skipped over it. My bad. Hopefully doing well, man. But yeah, Black Panther Ally I like a lot. And deserves a little more love, I think. In Sid builds, yeah. Yeah. He's just one of those leadership cards I'll just come back to a lot for sure. For sure. But yeah, so anyway, that's kind of my thought. I mean, I know it's all speculation. Again, hopefully in a couple weeks, 3 weeks-ish. 3 weeks? Yeah, about 3 weeks. We should know if what the plan is. I'm really hoping, because again, they made a big point of discussing how so many questions will be answered at PAX Unplugged. I really hope that it is. I really do. Because if it's just like, here's a new box and that's it, I mean, that'll be nice. We'll enjoy it. But if they say like, hey, it's a new core, this is how we're proceeding forward in the game, you know, expect this and whatever, kind of how they did with Arkham, I think that's better. And I think people will understand it more, but they still need that communication open. I think that's kind of the roughest part right now, is that just the communication isn't really been there. So I know you've talked about this in the past. Have you noticed how much of a difference in your FFG content metrics for streaming on Twitch? I know they'll always be good for you because it's your core thing, but I'm just curious if it feels more popular now than a couple years ago. Now, so as far as a streamer goes, I don't have their metrics, right, for things, obviously. So I judge a lot off of my metrics. What I have learned is back in the day, it didn't matter what new hero it was. I would get on a review or a first play like 2,000 views, right? As a smaller channel. So it doesn't matter who came out, I would get a good amount of views. Nowadays, as a much bigger channel and more well known, if it's not a like top tier hero like Winter Soldier, if I'm cracking 800 to 1,000 on a review or like a first playthrough, like that's all that happens. Like, it's just, I don't get good views anymore unless it's a big name thing. And I can't tell if that's people just don't care, if it's something in my style. I mean, there could be so many variables, but from as a content creator's perspective, it's very, very, the viewership is going down. I don't know how to say it differently. The viewership is 100% going down. Theoretically, mine should either level out or slowly go up. Same with Nelson's and whatnot. I don't know. I mean, I could see some of Nelson's metrics because you can see them online. But his seem to be kind of stalling out. I know Web Warrior is still gaining ground with Villain Theory, but Villain Theory kind of does something different. Web Warrior does something different. But even them, like, you can kind of see their metrics are like they're going up, but not like a ton. So what's interesting, though, that I will say is coming back to Lord of the Rings. Our Lord of the Ring numbers for live streams, not for playthroughs, because I haven't cracked the thumbnail titles for playthroughs yet. The Lord of the Rings stuff has actually been going up for the live stream. Now, again, that's because a lot of you I know come here to just like hang out and have a good time, right? So I know a part of it's that. But the Lord of the Rings metrics overall have been slowly going up. And I don't know why. I don't know if there's just so few Lord of the Rings content creators that people just really love this game and they want more of it. Could be a big part of it, right? It'll be interesting when we do Arkham, not next week, but the following week, what that does, how that compares. Again, especially because I'm not a Lord of the Rings or Arkham channel. I have my pitchforks ready. They really have a lot riding on this live stream. They do. I think, again, I hope they didn't overpromise. I really do. I'll have more allies that grab events from the Discord. Yeah, me too. New core will be very disappointing to me unless they have a roadmap of the future set of expansions. I mean, that's the big hope, is that not only, let's just say it's a new core box of Fantastic Four, right? Let's just say you could disagree with it, and that's fine. But let's say it's that. I really hope they lead into like, and then we're gonna have our 6 hero packs, some old favorites come back, something like that. But then like we're gonna keep doing things. Like I think in the Arkham one, they made a comment how they're gonna be pumping out more content. Anything that tutors or digs for a card is rad. Suit up is so for that too. Yeah. By the way, Canadian Wave 9 is on Amazon today. Let's go. Yeah, it's pretty much what I expected. Definitely variables, but I've seen this in other areas. The number of full collections being sold nearly every day this past year is kind of wild. It's insane how many full collections go up on Reddit and Facebook. Well, especially Reddit. It's insane. And you can even see it on eBay too, if like lots of stuff going on sale. And I think that's twofold. I think one is people have been playing it for a while and maybe they just want something new. So they know this is the time to get out where people are like trying to panic buy. So I think that's also partially driving it. Because if you're like on the fence of like, do I keep Marvel? Do I not? Whatever. Like now's the time to sell. So it kind of makes sense in that way. But I would directly attribute it to Fantasy Flight's decisions lately. People are dropping the game, unfortunately, I think. Yeah. I mean, you could just look through my comments. And again, I am a very small snippet. But I am the snippet of hardcore players, right? So I'm not like the casual players probably is not watching most of my videos, like maybe some here and there, but not like a ton. So the hardcore fan base is what my community probably really is. And I mean, you see comments in all my videos when I talk about this stuff. They're just like, I'm selling my stuff. They're like, I'm selling my stuff. I'm getting out, or I'm done. It seems to be one of those two things. And it's a lot of comments. And those comments get a lot of likes for me, right? So it's just, if I didn't love Marvel and they were truly doing a second core, yeah. You know what I mean? Bring back marbles and thematic matchups for Marvel Champions. It does well for the live streams. What does well for gameplay is the Sunday morning coffee, which I have to record one. I'm hoping to record one tomorrow, so you guys have at least one when I'm gone. But like for the live streams, it's so weird. What you all want in the live streams and what the YouTuber community wants to just watch my YouTube videos is like so different. It's really kind of funny in like a good way, not a bad way. So I just have to like cater to two different markets. But even so, it's all kind of like stalling out. I will say that Lord of the Rings is my favorite of the 3 LCGs, and I clicked this really fast when I saw Lord of the Rings, but I probably would have clicked away anyway. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think there are still a lot of people playing and wanting content for Lord of the Rings. I mean, I'm one of them that's come into it late. Yeah. And again, I think people saw Marvel. It was good. I think people see Arkham and it's good. And they go, Lord of the Rings IP is massive still. I mean, it's just a massive IP. So them not, I think they're still printing that stuff, if I understand it right. The one thing went out of print because they said it was an error, which was good. So you can still get some stuff at least. I'll try to be part of the Marvel community when I can. Catching content creator streams when I can. Yeah, I appreciate it. But I can 100% tell viewership is down for it. Folks don't like FOMO. Yeah. And that's the other thing too, is a content creator. It's weird because when the new stuff comes out, do I not play the old stuff anymore? Like I love Valkyrie. I love Scarlet Witch. I love all those, not all of them, but I love a lot of them, right? Do you stop? Do you stop playing as a content creator? It'll be really interesting to see. I'm really fascinated to see what Nelson decides on. Because Nelson does a really good job, I think, of like, again, playing all the newer stuff and really focusing on it. And then sometimes pulling our old cards into the newer stuff or playing older heroes with the new cards. Like he does really, really well with that. It'll be fascinating to see if he continues doing that or not. Because I feel like a lot of people will not want to see that if, 2 years down the line, they're like, why is D20 playing with all these cards I can't play with? Defender's box would bring a lot of people back in. I think it could. I think it definitely could. I'll tell you what will. Maximum Carnage box. Spider-Man's still the highest revenue superhero thing with all things factored in. I want to sell my stuff, abandon ship. I know they're a ton of work for you, but I do miss the expert campaign playthroughs you've done. I know. I gotta, again, when we get back from vacation, there's a couple of things I would like to do. And I think the campaign playthroughs on expert would be fun to do. I can't do it on the live streams because there's so much going on, but I would like to do it off stream. Sunday Morning Coffee, just Marvel Champions, or would I do Lord of the Rings as well sometimes? It's not just Marvel Champ. It's mostly Marvel Champions, but it's not just, because I've done like Final Girl and different things too. I don't know if I want to do a whole campaign for it. That's the only thing. But maybe if I do like a scenario pack, maybe that's how I do scenario packs. I do it that way. Maybe that's what we do in the future. I could see myself doing that. Maybe I do that. Lord of the Rings is just classic every way, yeah. I don't buy from Amazon, but already have everything for Wave 9. No tricks or takeover in Civil War still. My Civil War shipped. Let's go. Should be here when I'm gone. I love Maria Hale. Don't you dare say that. At this point, if they aren't actively working on Defenders, I'm not sure we'll get it. I do think it's probably something one of the 3 designers is working on, though. So here's the weird thing. So according to my podcast with MJ, Defenders was being worked on, right? So Defenders was in the works. My pessimistic, black-pilled view of it is that they have to scrap it, at least a lot of it. Because if the whole idea of the current environment is that they want to, have like a new meta and like new standards for things, that was being worked on a long time ago. So they have to redo it all. And that like stinks. It stinks a lot. Yes, please, Maximum Carnage or Spider-Man 2099. They can read Web Warriors from any aspect, Cyclops style, yeah. But I'm pessimistic and don't think the game could be trending well. I get that. And especially when you see how much they're putting in the SWU. The fact that, like, Star Wars Unlimited, I think you can still buy, like, the first box. So you can still buy Twilight of the Republic. Yeah, Spark of Rebellion you could still buy today for $90. So they're just, I mean, they're printing swoon nonstop. And I get it makes a ton of money, but like, I thought some of it would drop out by now. You know what I mean? All these folks selling has helped my local play group get what they're missing, add more members, went from 2 to 10 players. That's awesome. I mean, that's hopefully the bright side of all of this is that if people are abandoning ship, they're abandoning to get people into the game, right? So if you lose one, you gain one, maybe. That would be nice. Hopefully. Did we win? Yes, we did. It took a bunch of times, but we won. Just give me an Asgardian box. Punisher and Black Knight, yeah. I thought Defenders was a license issue. Interesting to know that they had it in the works. So again, according to MJ, my podcast, and you can review it, and I'm doing this from memory, so it might be slightly off. From what I remember is, she said they were working on it, and then they had to drop it for the Thanos box. For whatever reason. I don't know why I don't think she said why they switched or anything, but they dropped it for the Thanos box and turned all their attention to that. So that's her understanding of what she told me. Maximum Carnage and Valhalla starring Daredevil. Just put them all in. And Beast. Throw Beast in there. Why not, right? Though I know some people are like, oh, we're definitely going to get more X-Men stuff soon. It's like, And I think X-Men would have been, like, I get X-Men they had to do at a certain time because of licensing and all that stuff. X-Men would have been the time. If you remember way back in old D20, I was convinced that they were going to have parallel waves of X-Men and Avengers stuff. Because like it just made the most sense of like keep all the X-Men together. You can have another core box with X-Men so that people could enter with the X-Men. And they didn't do that, obviously. But that would have been such a good core box because that would have sold, right? That would have sold. My X-Men stuff, when I did it early on, X-Men stuff got viewership. It was crazy. I think everything not Avengers adjacent probably has licensing issues to agree. Yeah, probably. To a degree. We need an Avenger hero that you use any Avenger allies, and a new Captain America could do that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they want to redo Captain America, obviously. He obviously sold well, and they want us to buy it again for sure. Folks are like, everyone is selling Marvel Champions. Yeah, to another person or play group. Yeah. That's the hope, again. Metaphor is that they're selling to people. And hopefully those new people keep buying, right? I want to say that one of the devs said that they wanted to do an X-Men core, but the man said no. Damn the man. Marvel Jam is falling off because they're working on a mobile app version. Dude, people would love a mobile app version. Yes, obviously that means it's selling to someone else, but that means the game isn't growing. Yeah. That is the one downside, is that the game would be flatlining then. And FFG isn't getting that money. So even if FFG gets that person that bought it, right? They're just buying all the new stuff, but the old person isn't buying the new stuff. Unless the new person jumps back in. That's the only way you can multiply that, right? Or not multiply, but like expand upon it. But see, if they change Cap to that, then he's gonna be a redo of Cyclops. I don't think that needs updating, do y'all? I mean, I don't think Captain America needs an update, but I think he sells well, so they were going to update him. Like, I agree on a gameplay level, Captain America is goated, and he doesn't need to change, but he's going to. And I think as far as a redo with Cyclops, again, because they're going to look at things as a current environment versus a legacy environment, they're not even thinking about Cyclops. A core box reprint with Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm, Iceman, and Phoenix. I think if they did X-Men again and didn't do Beast again, it'd be kind of hilarious. Hopefully if they do an app, they don't dumb it down like they did with Lord of the Rings, where it's basically turned into Hearthstone. The Lord of the Rings game was just so bad. Though, I will say, the only thing that was good about the Lord of the Rings game is that we were the #1 streamer on Twitch for Lord of the Rings, the adventure game, on Steam for the longest time. I think we still hold the record of viewership for that. It's a small accomplishment, I know, but it's an accomplishment. Captain America Hail Hydra version? Yeah. And that's the thing, too. Like, if they redo Doctor Strange, you can make a good argument to redo Doctor Strange because he's so busted that it could, like, dumb him down, I guess, right? But, I don't know. I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see the general fan base likes OP heroes versus not OP heroes, right? Like obviously you don't want like a bad hero, but if you could have as a normal player, not us that are like crazy in the game, but as a normal person, do you enjoy just having a deck where you're like, yeah, this is fantastic? Or if you're just like, no, I want it to be like challenging still. Like I would think most people want to be challenging, but if you're a superhero, you kind of want to just like smack around people. So I don't really know how the casual person handles that. Get the Empire junk out of here. There are dozens of us. Dozens. We're rewatching that right now. I love that game, and that scratch itch, but you can't play physical or get dragon cards. I like it for what it is. I don't like it as not a replacement, but a supplement for the actual card game. The new core theme, What If? Man, they did that for Legendary, and the Legendary What If box is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Rob Liefeld, Captain America, it's all chest attacks. Have you already played the game? Yeah, Ilman, we won. It took forever. Cryptozonic would reprint 4 old heroes and 1 new one. Classic. Imagine Lena's comment regarding 2026 is excited, but 2027 is even better, meaning that we only get a core in 2026 and then find something new in 2027. Their method for marketing has always made me saying, oh my God, you will love what's in store. Yeah. It's like Apple. Right? But like not classic Apple, new Apple, when they're just like, it's still like the next big thing, right? The next big thing. And that's like what Steve Jobs always did. The classic Steve Jobs marketing of just like, you know, but wait. And it worked when you crushed it. But new Apple can't crush it anymore. I love Apple products. Don't get me wrong. I have a ton of their stuff, but they don't do it like they used to. And it only works when the, but wait is something amazing. Aren't they doing Marvel Legendary 2 soon? Allegedly. So it was announced not this past Gen Con, but the one before that. They were previewing it. I'm going to be talking to Bagel Top Games soon, so hopefully I get the download on it. I get you. Nothing compares to the physical game. I just mean in terms of content, it dwarfs many other games. Yeah, I agree with that. We can't wait to show you what's coming next. I think a nice thing about the game is that most characters have a build or 3 that can be considered broken for whatever you want to roll out. Yeah, but that's essentially going away at this point, right? For the new current versus legacy. So the new, I mean, let me back that up slightly. Obviously, in the current phases, right, or the current environment, like there will be broken combos, right? This community is incredibly good at finding broken stuff incredibly fast. So there will be broken stuff eventually. I agree. I had 2 homebrew rules with Doctor Strange. All his invocations cost 1 more, or his invocation required a genius resource. That's good. I've seen a lot of people too that you have to take an encounter card after you run through this deck. Okay, what is it? Now your phone could be red. God, Apple's so bad. Side note, Apple is so bad with AI, they're paying Google $1 billion now to use their AI. Just fun fact, because that's how bad they are with this. Instead, we get the new iOS, which is fine, but they made such a big deal about it. It's like, Johnny Walker, El Captain Americano. I could go for an El Grande Americano card. That'd be sweet. Hope you're excited for nothing. But yeah, no, Canadian. I agree that like the marketing with like 2026 will be exciting, but 2027 will be even better. Girl, that's a long ways away. That's you're telling people to wait a long time. Like 2026 better be amazing. And then we could be super hyped for 2027. But if 2026 is just like, okay. Now, if 2026 is Fantastic Four core box, let's say, and also Defenders, I also kind of have issues with that because 2027, I don't know how you're going to beat that unless you go to Maximum Carnage and stuff like that. Like, you would need cycle after cycle of just banger after banger after banger after banger. So, yeah. I mean, it's just... Y'all better back that up. 2054 will be even better. I'll put money on it now that the game will not exist in 2054. Just call me a skeptic. That comment makes me expect a roadmap to 2027. Like, why talk about 2 years from now? I agree. It's really weird. It's really weird marketing. I really hope they get their marketing. I know they hired a bunch of marketing people because I saw the job postings. And I really hope these marketing people are on top of it. I really do. Don't forget Midnight Suns. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's that's the thing, is there's still like a lot in the well that they can pull from that'll do well. That's a weird way of phrasing that sentence. There's still a lot of things that they can pull from. So it's not like they don't have things that they can pull from. It's just, it needs to be like no filler waves for a little while. Right? It just needs to be banger after banger. I'd be surprised if they don't do some sort of timeline when they do the in-flight. I would be surprised too, especially with how the wording is. And like, they do it for SWU, right? They do it for SWU, and it's massively successful. If you watch Gen Con and all that stuff, they do the timeline of like, here's the next like several boxes. And now granted, SWU pumps out a lot faster, so you know, I get it. But still, like, they've done this before. So why not again? Like, I don't see the downside of them saying, yes, the next cycle is this, but the following cycle after that is whatever, right? Let's just say Fantastic Four Defenders, right? Is the fear that people are just going to skip over Fantastic Four for Defenders? I don't think so. I think it lets people know what to invest in and not invest in. Like, it just makes sense giving the roadmap out. I mean, Marvel Cinematic Universe does this, right? Where they or at least they used to. I don't pay attention to the movies as much anymore. But they used to like roadmap out all these movies, and it got people hyped for all of it. And then you slowly tease the things out, obviously, but just drop it. Like, if you just drop the name, right, for whatever it is, you don't have to give more than a name, and people will get hyped about that. I just remember how crazy people went for that stuff with like the phase 2 and phase 3 of Marvel. Just drop the names. I think that's the best way to market this. And you don't have to do anything else. It's easy to prepare. Jump right into it. It's weird because they are scared due to their own choices of business model. Yeah. New core box is all playable villains and the leaders are the enemy. You could tell, especially in her interview with Web Warrior Fanatic, that Olivia felt they're approaching things the wrong way. Yeah. What a twist. They are so clearly have their best people on SWU though. I do think that's part of the problem. Yeah. I mean the SWU team is killing it, obviously. From what I've been told from my sources, like just the amount of money that SWU is printing is just astronomical compared to Marvel Champions. I mean, Marvel Champions does very well. Not saying it doesn't. It does very well. But it pales in comparison to SWU. I mean, just not even close. Doc Ock, Carnage, Lizard, Scorpion, Kraven, the new Spider-Man box with new Peter Parker reprint. I mean, if they do new core, they have to reprint Peter Parker. It could be good. It could be really good. That's my hope. So yeah, I think if they, for the PAX Unplugged thing, again, yes, you show off a bit more of whatever the next thing is. I always say it's Core 2.0, but even if it's not, even if it's just a Fantastic Four box or whatever box, okay, you show off that thing, but then I think you have to roadmap the next like year-ish at least out. And all you have to do is give names. You don't have to give hero pack names, right? Maybe if you have a scenario pack. If you do Fantastic Four, I think Galactus would be a scenario pack. It just makes sense. So you give like just the name of it. So it's just like, we don't know 100% sure, but we're pretty sure, right? Like just little things like that. 2027, as you said, is going to be this amazing year. Okay. Like give us something to hang on to, not just a promise that it's going to be an amazing year. Give us the name of whatever it could be for Defenders or whatever else, right? It's just, there's so much marketing opportunity there. There's so much there. And again, they do it with SWU. Their SWU marketing team is pretty darn good. They market the game well, generally speaking. I mean, it's not like the best market in the world, but for as far as tabletop games go, it's pretty good. They give me a roadmap, and I know Fantastic Four and Defenders are being planned. Even if 2 years from now, I keep buying everything. But if the in-flight report doesn't give me anything really exciting, I'm not all in anymore. I just don't want to be buying 2-3 years of content I'm not super hyped for before I get to what I really wanted. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. They're going to make a bunch of They're going to make a bunch of new Spider-Folk hero packs to sell and make a killing. Yeah, they should. It's easy sell. All Porgs now releasing Jedi Porgs. Let's go, Porg deck. Especially if I have no idea whether the game might die before they get there. And I think that's the other thing too, is people are just like, Daredevil's on all these cards. Just give us the Daredevil. And I'm not even a Daredevil fan. I just feel for all the people who are Daredevil fans at this point. All they have to do in their meetings is add Spider to anything. Spider and Kool-Aid Man. I will do so much free marketing for you if there's a Kool-Aid Man. I will hype that up so much. Also, Cap, I don't know if I say hi the first time. Marvel Champions and Arkham Horror crossover event. It'd be funny. FFG has canceled so many games. They have not earned the trust. Yeah. And especially when they, like, games seemed like they were going strong from whatever the Star Wars one was. That seemed like it was doing well, and all of a sudden, gone. Spider War, the Mad Spider Shadow, Spider Genesis. I mean, they did something along the lines of Into the Spider-Verse, whatever, right? What are they afraid of? Seeing a roadmap and saying early which ones we will get? I mean, maybe that's the fear, is just like, oh, I'll definitely skip this wave and then wait till the next one. But to me, that's illogical, because even if you do it the way that they're doing it and you look at the wave, you go, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to skip it or I'm going to not. I don't think you telling me ahead of time what the future is going to make me go whether I skip it or not. Like, I don't know. I have to really think about that. Outer Rim, thank you. Also, don't forget to blame Embracer, the real enemy. Oh yeah, Embracer's the worst. Though Embracer kind of shooed them off, right? They said, hey, take a bunch of debt and you can go do your own thing now. But Embracer is like a massive problem. But I don't know if Embracer still owns it anymore. I thought they kind of spun it off and let them do their own thing. Embracer still own. Sometimes you can see them slowing down, and that's definitely an act some games that completely shocked people. Yeah. Daredevil, Punisher, Fight the Kingpin, Bullseye, Elektra, Typhoid Mary, and Duke now. Yeah, so no, as of today, November 5th, Embracer Group no longer owns Asmodee. It was officially spun off February 2025. So yeah, it's its own thing now. But Embracer did say, here's a lot of debt. And then realistically, that's why they have to focus so much on SWU, because Asmodee is probably looking at Fantasy Flight Games and going, all right, so you own a portion of this debt, right? I don't know this, but for most companies, this is how they operate, right? You look at all your different revenue or your different brands, and you look at your revenue streams, and you go, okay, what can you handle debt-wise? What can you handle debt-wise? Okay, FFG, you have this much of our $1 billion of debt, whatever. Like, you need to figure it out. You need to figure out your portion. Also, Asmodee changed FFG too. I know. I wish I knew FFG before Asmodee bought it. They did, and Asmodee is now its own thing with about $1.5 billion of debt. Yeah. So again, Mongoose, I want to agree with you that in the end of the day, Embracer is the biggest problem that they had. Even if they're away now, because of the tentacles of Embracer, they're still affected by it. A roadmap would not only get us hyped, it would give us all the topics to chat about mechanics, aspects would be more hype. That's the thing. Again, we saw this in the Marvel Cinematic Universe when people are just like, okay, we don't know the full timeline for like Thanos, but we know it's coming down the road. Okay, these stories are in between. Like, how are they going to do things? What are they going to do? Like, small little leaks like that, not leaks, but little, reveals go a long way. I mean, how much does this community eat up when heroes have silhouettes? Bro, my silhouette videos are some of my best videos. When we just sit there, and some of my best live streams, when we all just sit there and go, okay, we think it's this, we think it's that, whatever. It gets everyone engaged. Like, that is, whoever came up with that marketing idea, genius, by the way. But that is such easy marketing that, like, yeah, do that, right? Just do that. Maybe not FFG, but having worked on some card games, certain characters won't get made or announced because project manager either doesn't like the design or the character. That bias does exist a lot behind the scenes, and it happens a lot. Not saying FFG does that, but I've definitely seen it. So when I talked to Caleb and MJ about this, yes, that somewhat exists in FFG. From my understanding, there's very rare times that internally FFG has a problem. The bigger issue seems to be the mouse. The mouse wants they're very protective of Marvel. Obviously, it hurts a lot of money for them. So they want things to be shown in a certain way. So I know that there is issues with that sometimes. So I'm willing to give him some issue with that. But from my understanding, there's never been an issue with the mouse as far as like you have to knock out this entire wave or something, right? It's always like small tweaks. Like, oh, we don't want Captain America doing this or that or whatever, right? We don't want them doing this or that. That's why we could still do the title because the wave shouldn't change. But Metaphor, I agree with you in the sense that like there are internal politicking that deals with that and whatnot, but more so with Disney, I think. Exactly. That means that they have to put so many of the marbles on guaranteed continued revenue. So swoo, yep. My wish list: Defenders, Heroes for Hire expansion, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage Hero Packs, Black Cat. I want Black Cat really bad too. Daredevil, Iron Fist, Punisher I also really want. Then Midnight Suns, Cloak, Dagger, Blade, Elektra, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight. I hope they go back to MJ for Cloak and Dagger Hero Pack. She says she has it and she designed it and she's like, it's there if FFG wants it. Then re-release Wolverine Midnight Sun. Yeah, Wolverine Midnight Sun would be cool. There isn't much Marvel tabletop games that push competition for FFG to need to really worry or act better. I mean, Simon has done it. I mean, Legendary was pretty popular, though it's definitely slowed down. It'll be interesting to see if Marvel, and again, they're very different games, right? So I get to a point. With Magic doing like their Spider-Man box, and I assume Magic will do more Marvel stuff at some point. Like, I wonder like how that affects them, whatever. I know they're very different games, but I wonder if that like pushes at all. If Legendary ever does its reprint or its core 2, like what that does. Like the Legendary What If 2 box was supposed to come out a long time ago. Bro, I don't even know where that is at this point. Season 2. That's what it was called. Season 2. Like allegedly it's on Game Nerds. Apparently it already sold out. It was $20. But the release date is the end of this year, which means they don't really know when it is. If they re-release Wolverine as brown or yellow or black and gray colors. Magic has a Pokemon Secret Lair. Pretty sure I saw an announcement for another wave of Marvel Magic: The Gathering next year. Okay. Design Hacker's custom and Cloak and Dagger is one of the coolest ideas I've seen in the entire game. Very curious how different / the same MJ's version is. She said her idea was sort of common sense design around. Yeah. She made it seem like that the designers, they would just kind of do the same thing she would anyway. So it wouldn't be much different. I assume Snap is the same thing. Champs is the design around, at least as far as Marvel games go. How many people still play Marvel Snap? I know it still has a following, but I wonder if it's like dropped off at all. Man, I went hard at that game in the beginning. Like I just stopped. I was like, I'm losing money. I don't know, chat. I don't know. So we'll see. I really hope for PAX Unplugged, they give us just more of just the next box. Give us a roadmap and just tease it lightly or something. I really hope, man. I really hope. Because again, I love Marvel Champions. I want it to succeed. But I get worried too, man. I get worried too.